Are you making these fish choices that could be sabotaging your diabetes management? If you're over 60 and living with diabetes or prediabetes, the type of fish you eat matters more than you might think. Some fish choices can actually make blood sugar control harder, while others offer powerful benefits for managing your condition. I'm going to walk you through 4 common fish mistakes that could be working against your diabetes health, and I'll show you exactly what to eat instead. Stay with me because mistake number 4 is something I see all the time in American grocery stores, and it's quietly undermining people's best efforts to stay healthy. Before we jump in, let me share something encouraging. Research suggests that incorporating the right types of fish into your diet may help improve insulin sensitivity. That's your body's ability to use insulin effectively. Studies have found associations between regular consumption of certain fish and better glucose control. So this isn't about eliminating fish. It's about making smarter choices that support your diabetes management goals. If you're finding this helpful already, go ahead and tap that like button and make sure you're subscribed to this channel because I'm dedicated to bringing you practical, evidence-based advice for managing diabetes and staying healthy after 60. Let's get into it. Fish mistake number 1. Relying heavily on fried fish or breaded fish products. I know, fried fish is delicious. Fish and chips, fried catfish, breaded fish sticks from the freezer section. These are comfort foods for many Americans. But here's what you need to understand about how frying affects fish when you have diabetes. Research has found that fried fish consumption is associated with higher diabetes incidence compared to other cooking methods. One large study following thousands of men over more than a decade found that regularly eating fried fish showed different health outcomes than consuming fish prepared other ways. Why is this such a problem? When you deep fry fish, several things happen that work against your diabetes management. First, the breading adds refined carbohydrates that spike blood sugar quickly. A serving of breaded fried fish can pack 20 to 30 grams of carbohydrates just from the coating. That's like eating a slice and a half of bread before you even get to the fish itself. For someone managing diabetes, that's a significant blood sugar challenge. Second, deep frying adds unhealthy fats. The oil used in restaurants and even in home cooking is often high in omega-6 fatty acids or trans fats. These fats promote inflammation in your body. Chronic inflammation makes insulin resistance worse. Think of it this way. Your cells have doors that insulin is supposed to open so glucose can enter. Inflammation is like rust on those doors, making them harder to open. The harder it is for insulin to do its job, the higher your blood sugar stays. Third, high-temperature frying creates compounds called advanced glycation end products. These have the unfortunate acronym AGEs, and they really do age your body faster. AGEs contribute to diabetic complications affecting your eyes, kidneys, nerves, and blood vessels. They accelerate the damage that high blood sugar already causes. Think about a typical scenario. You go to a restaurant and order fish because you're trying to make a healthy choice. But if it arrives fried with tartar sauce and a side of fries, you've just consumed a meal that's going to send your blood sugar soaring and increase inflammation in your body. You thought you were being good, but the preparation method undermined your intentions. What should you do instead? Choose fish that's baked, grilled, broiled, or poached. These cooking methods preserve the beneficial omega-3 fatty acids in fish without adding unhealthy fats or excess carbohydrates. Baked salmon with lemon and herbs, grilled tuna steak, broiled cod with garlic, poached halibut with vegetables. All of these give you the protein and healthy fats your body needs without the blood sugar spike and inflammation. If you really love the crispy texture of fried fish, there's a workaround. Make a coating using almond flour or crushed pork rinds instead of breadcrumbs. Spray with olive oil and bake in the oven at 400 degrees. You get that satisfying crunch without the blood sugar impact. It takes a little practice, but most people are surprised how good it tastes once they try it. Fish mistake number 2, eating fish with high mercury content frequently. This one isn't talked about enough in the diabetes community, but it's important. Certain fish contain high levels of mercury, a heavy metal that accumulates in larger fish that live longer. Studies have found associations between dietary exposure to environmental contaminants like mercury and higher diabetes risk. One research study following thousands of people found that exposure to these contaminants may influence how fish affects metabolic health. Mercury interferes with your body's ability to regulate blood sugar. It can affect insulin production in your pancreas and reduce insulin sensitivity in your cells. Essentially, mercury exposure makes it harder for your body to manage glucose effectively. For someone already dealing with diabetes, adding another factor that impairs glucose control is the last thing you need. The highest mercury fish include swordfish, king mackerel, tilefish, shark, and big-eye tuna. These large predatory fish accumulate mercury throughout their long lives. Eating them occasionally isn't necessarily a problem, but if you're eating them multiple times a week, you're increasing your exposure to levels that could affect your health. And here's something many people don't realize. That ahi tuna steak at your favorite restaurant, if it's big eye tuna, it's high in mercury. So even when you think you're making a healthy choice ordering grilled fish, you might be choosing the wrong species. There's another concern with mercury for older adults. Mercury can affect neurological function. We're already at higher risk for cognitive decline as we age. Adding a known neurotoxin to the mix through our diet isn't wise. Memory problems, concentration issues, and nerve damage are all potential effects of chronic mercury exposure. What's the smart alternative? Choose fish that are lower on the food chain and lower in mercury. These include salmon, sardines, Atlantic mackerel, herring, anchovies, and light tuna, specifically skipjack. These fish provide all the omega-3 fatty acids and protein you need without the mercury burden. If you love tuna, choose canned light tuna or skipjack instead of albacore or big eye. The flavor is similar, but the mercury content is much lower. You can eat these varieties 2 to 3 times a week safely. Another good option is farm-raised rainbow trout or Arctic char. These are typically lower in contaminants and are sustainably raised in many operations. Check labels for country of origin and look for fish raised in the United States or Canada, where standards are higher. Moving on to fish mistake number 3, consuming fish packed in unhealthy sauces or with lots of added sugar. This is especially common with canned fish products, and it's a trap many people fall into without realizing it. You pick up a can of sardines or mackerel at the store thinking you're making a healthy choice. But if you look at the label, you'll find it's packed in soybean oil with added sugar and sodium. What should be a diabetes-friendly protein source has been turned into something that works against your health goals. Some canned fish products contain surprisingly high amounts of added sugar. Sweet and spicy sardines, teriyaki-flavored mackerel, fish and tomato sauce with added corn syrup. A serving can contain 4 to 8 grams of added sugar. That might not sound like much, but it adds up quickly, especially if you're eating canned fish regularly. And for someone managing diabetes, every gram of added sugar counts. It affects your blood glucose, contributes to weight gain, and increases inflammation. The sauces matter too. Fish packed in soybean oil or other refined vegetable oils gives you a heavy dose of omega-6 fatty acids. Research suggests that a poor ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids promotes inflammation and may worsen insulin resistance. You're eating fish specifically to get those beneficial omega-3 fats, but then you're drowning them in omega-6 fats that counteract the benefits. Sodium is another concern. Some canned fish products contain 600 to 800 milligrams of sodium per serving. That's more than a third of the recommended daily limit. High sodium intake raises blood pressure, which is already a concern for many people with diabetes. About 2/3 of people with diabetes also have high blood pressure. Adding more sodium through your diet just makes that problem worse. What should you choose instead? Look for fish packed in water, olive oil, or its own juices. Plain canned salmon, sardines in water, tuna in water, or mackerel in olive oil without added flavors. Read the nutrition label carefully. You want to see 0 grams of added sugar and ideally less than 300 milligrams of sodium per serving. Yes, low sodium versions can taste a bit bland at first, but you can easily add your own flavor at home with fresh lemon juice, black pepper, a little mustard, or herbs. You control what goes into your food instead of relying on whatever the manufacturer decided to add. For fresh fish, be cautious about restaurant preparations. That beautiful glazed salmon might be coated in a sauce with brown sugar, honey, or maple syrup. A teriyaki glaze can add 15 to 20 grams of sugar. Always ask how the fish is prepared. Request it grilled or baked with just seasoning, no sweet sauces. You can always add a squeeze of fresh lemon or a side of salsa for flavor without the sugar. Now fish mistake number 4, and this is a big one. Choosing farm-raised fish from questionable sources or avoiding fish altogether because of cost concerns. Let's start with the sourcing issue. Not all farm-raised fish is created equal. Fish from poorly regulated farms, particularly from certain countries, may contain higher levels of contaminants and lower levels of beneficial omega-3 fatty acids. Some research has found that the quality and composition of farm-raised fish varies significantly depending on farming practices and location. Farm-raised fish are fed diets that affect their nutritional profile. Fish raised in crowded conditions and fed corn or soy-based diets end up with less omega-3 and more omega-6 fatty acids in their flesh compared to wild-caught fish. They may also be treated with antibiotics to prevent disease in overcrowded conditions. The antibiotics don't necessarily remain in the fish you eat, but the practice reflects poor farming conditions. Fish farming in some regions involves practices that contaminate the fish with pollutants. Studies have found that certain farm-raised fish contain higher levels of polychlorinated biphenyls, commonly called PCBs, and other environmental contaminants. One study found these contaminants may influence how fish consumption affects diabetes risk. So does this mean you should only buy wild-caught fish? Not necessarily. Wild-caught is often better, but it's also significantly more expensive. And here's where many older adults on fixed incomes make a mistake. They see the high price of wild Alaskan salmon at $15 per pound and decide they just can't afford to eat fish regularly. So they don't eat fish at all. That's actually worse than eating reasonable quality farm-raised fish. The smart alternative here is nuanced. For salmon, wild-caught Alaskan is ideal, but if cost is prohibitive, farm-raised salmon from the United States, Canada, or Norway is a reasonable choice. These countries have better farming standards. For other fish, domestic farm-raised rainbow trout and Arctic char are good options. They're raised in clean water with good practices and are more affordable than wild fish. Don't overlook frozen fish. Many people assume fresh is always better, but frozen fish is often flash frozen right after being caught, preserving nutrients. Frozen wild-caught fish is frequently less expensive than fresh and just as nutritious. Bags of frozen Pacific cod, wild-caught pollock, or individually frozen salmon fillets can be budget-friendly options. Watch for sales and stock up. Properly frozen fish keeps for 3 to 6 months. Canned fish is another cost-effective option. We discussed choosing the right type earlier, but I want to emphasize that canned salmon, sardines, and mackerel are inexpensive, shelf-stable sources of high-quality protein and omega-3 fatty acids. A can of sardines costs about $2 to $3 and provides more omega-3s than many fresh fish options. If you're on a budget, canned fish packed in water is one of the best values in the entire grocery store for diabetes management. If you're avoiding fish altogether because of cost, you're missing out on benefits that could help your diabetes management. Studies have found associations between regular fish consumption and improved insulin sensitivity in some populations. While the research is complex and shows different results in different regions, incorporating fish into your diet appears to offer potential benefits for metabolic health. Let me give you a practical example of implementing all 4 of these guidelines. Imagine you currently eat fried fish once a week, occasionally have sushi with big eye tuna, buy whatever canned fish is on sale regardless of how it's packed, and rarely eat fish otherwise because of cost. Here's how you could shift your approach over the next month. Week 1, replace your fried fish with baked or grilled fish. Try a simple recipe. Season a salmon fillet with garlic powder, paprika, and black pepper. Drizzle with a little olive oil. Bake at 375 degrees for 15 to 18 minutes. Serve with roasted vegetables. This gives you omega-3s without the inflammation of frying. Week 2, start checking mercury levels when choosing fish. If you love tuna, switch from A-high steaks to canned light skipjack tuna or wild-caught salmon. Both are lower in mercury, and you can eat them more frequently without concern. Week 3, spend 5 minutes in the canned fish aisle reading labels. Find brands that pack fish in water or olive oil with minimal added ingredients. Stock your pantry with a few cans. These become quick protein options for lunch or dinner that won't spike your blood sugar. Week 4, explore budget-friendly options. Try frozen wild-caught pollock or cod. Buy a bag of frozen salmon fillets when they're on sale. Keep them in your freezer for easy meals. This makes regular fish consumption affordable, even on a limited budget. What kind of results might you see from making these changes? Your blood sugar control could improve if you were eating a lot of fried fish with refined carbohydrate coatings. Your inflammation markers might decrease when you replace fried preparations with baked or grilled fish and choose fish packed in healthier options. Your insulin sensitivity may improve with regular consumption of omega-3 rich fish from good sources. These aren't guaranteed results for everyone, and individual responses vary. But research suggests that these dietary changes can support better diabetes management for many people. Let me address some concerns you might have. What if you don't like fish? This is common, and it's okay. Focus on the milder fish, like cod, halibut, or tilapia. These have less fishy taste. The way you prepare fish also matters. Lemon, garlic, and herbs can make fish much more appealing. Don't give up after trying one type or one preparation method. There are dozens of fish varieties and countless ways to prepare them. What about fish oil supplements? If you absolutely cannot or will not eat fish oil supplements can provide omega-3 fatty acids. However, whole fish also gives you protein, selenium, vitamin D, B vitamins, and other nutrients that supplements don't contain. Research on fish oil supplements in diabetes shows mixed results. Some studies suggest benefits for certain markers, while others show minimal effects. It's better to get nutrients from whole foods when possible. Talk to your doctor before starting any supplement. What if you're allergic to fish? This is a real concern for some people. If you have a fish allergy, obviously these recommendations don't apply. You can get some omega-3 from plant sources like flaxseed, chia seeds, and walnuts, though these provide a different type of omega-3 that your body doesn't convert very efficiently. Work with a registered dietitian to ensure you're getting adequate nutrition. Here's something important to understand about diabetes and diet. No single food is a magic bullet. Fish is a valuable part of a diabetes-friendly diet, but it works best as part of a comprehensive approach. You also need plenty of non-starchy vegetables, limited refined carbohydrates, appropriate portions, regular physical activity, stress management, adequate sleep, and proper medication if prescribed. Fish supports all of this, but it doesn't replace these other elements. Before I wrap up, I want to emphasize something critical. Always consult your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes, especially if you take diabetes medications. Changes in your diet can affect your blood sugar levels and may require medication adjustments. Your doctor or a registered dietitian can give you personalized guidance based on your specific health situation, medications, and diabetes management goals. So there you have it, 4 common fish mistakes that could be hurting your diabetes management. Let's recap quickly. Stop relying on fried or breaded fish and switch to baked, grilled, broiled, or poached preparations. Avoid high-mercury fish like swordfish and king mackerel and choose lower-mercury options like salmon, sardines, and light tuna. Skip fish packed in sugary sauces or unhealthy oils and select fish packed in water or olive oil. And don't avoid fish due to cost concerns or sourcing confusion. Instead, find budget-friendly options like frozen wild-caught fish or quality canned fish. These simple shifts can make a real difference in your diabetes management. Better blood sugar control, improved insulin sensitivity, reduced inflammation, and protection for your heart and blood vessels are all within reach when you make smarter fish choices. And remember, these changes don't have to happen overnight. Start with one adjustment this week and build from there. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 mistakes have you been making? Are you surprised by any of this information? What's your biggest challenge when it comes to incorporating fish into your diabetes-friendly diet? Drop a comment below. I read every single comment, and your questions help me create future videos that address what you really want to know. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button. It helps this video reach more people who are managing diabetes and could benefit from this practical advice. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do and turn on notifications. I create new videos every week specifically for older adults managing diabetes and working to stay healthy and independent. Thanks so much for watching. Here's to making smarter food choices that support your health and help you thrive with diabetes. I'll see you in the next video.